One thing that saddens me about devices and apps in this current culture is they're designed mostly to keep our attention and to give us repeated hits of dopamine. And so, for instance, an app like Facebook on your phone, I'm sure there's settings you can go into to fix this. However, by default, if you accidentally hit back or something happens, you back out of the comment section, it might reset. And good luck finding that post you were just on unless you've already interacted with it. And if you come across a comment that you actually wanted to interact with, you had something to say, you actually had some input that maybe that person needed to hear, and from another perspective, maybe you're lucky. Maybe that person was a brick wall who wouldn't have been able to hear what you needed to say. However, there could have been plenty of people other than that person that might have been able to hear what you had to say. However, in this instance, what made me think about all this, and YouTube Shorts is another instance where you might not find the same short if you didn't comment. And even then, it might be kind of hard. Although you can look at your history, YouTube's not as bad. You can find recent shorts you've watched. But the most recent comment was just a comment something along the lines of somebody telling a story on Facebook, something that happened to them years ago involving a dog attack where their dog was attacked and there was injuries and their dog did survive, but they're still trying to figure out prosecution and whatnot. Not even necessarily, they're not even at the point where they know they should prosecute or what they should do. They're just kind of telling their sob story again, going, what should I do? Asking the community that we live in. And somebody commented some advice on what they could do in terms of taking him to small claims court, writing a letter to a judge, different options, different variables, if you will. And the thing is, for some people, when it comes to problem solving, they can be very, very good at close-ended problem solving where there are clear variables or options of you can do this, you can do this, or you can do that. If they know, you have a word bank with fill in the blank questions, that would be an example of having the variables clearly defined when it comes to problem solving. And then you can have other forms of problem solving, which is open-ended problem solving, where the variables aren't clearly defined. You're in this problem, you've never really experienced having to prosecute someone, having to deal with the law, having to hire a lawyer, whatever it may be that you have to do in this scenario to get justice or whatever it is you may be seeking. You might not be familiar with these processes and what even the variables are, and this is a different type of problem solving called open-ended problem solving, which some people might be good at, but some people might be horrible at. And so when that comment in particular that was giving these variables ended up being a bit judgmental, like, you could just do this didn't need to be a post. For some people, maybe it does need to be a post. Maybe having those people to reflect off of, it's actually beneficial because they still need to work on open-ended problem solving as a skill before they can get to doing it on their own, and they really do rely on these people for defining the variables in their lives.